First made it here before the trolls and puppets and hello there, Ginger. What's up, excellent? How you doing? Welcome in. So, Era, how you doing? I'll get right back to the cat. Closet purr calls for my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Watching from Philippines. Let's go. I'm at work, but I smashed the like button. Much appreciated, man. Shower first, then I mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches, and I always check my work email. The Wrights will be moving into the mansion today. I don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think they were allowed to start the move despite that. But people like them will always find ways to get what they want after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay? And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party. But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She'd be like giving me glances as I say that before going back to her own food. Cats. They're better than humans most of the time, right? Too bad I have to work with humans. The place is already busy as soon as I get here. The foreman, one that I've recommended to the Wrights for his work ethic, is early as usual. Already he's instructing men here and there with the bigger loads. I had no chance to talk to him, and Mr. Wright appears and greets me with a smile.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful, and these men have been very helpful. Look at all this. It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest. He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
She stops looking up at the upper landing where Mr. Wright comes through with two other movers in the mirror from the study.
Oh, do be careful with that mirror. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
I hit the like button. What's up, KQ? Much appreciated.
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it. If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there. Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out if we'll store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
The good old leather.
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
The movers bring down the mirror one step at a time, no matter how much the man tells them to hurry. An unsettling feeling grows in my stomach as I see a reflection in the bloody thing. That's the mirror from my dream. Mrs. Wright only shakes her head and laughs at her husband's antics as they take the mirror out of here. He's back at it again soon enough, pulling them in here and there. I say he's the man with the plan, but it sort of interferes with the layout and design that we agreed upon before. I'm about to point it out, but...
It's better you let him realize his mistakes on his own, rather than tell him of them. That way you do not get blamed for his actions.
Is that Anne?
It is more fun, too, to tell him, how does they say it? I told you so, once he slips up.
Like, much appreciated.
Been working with him long enough to know that, huh?
Not like a plan to make too much of a fuss unless what he changes is actually crucial.
It happens often enough, when one is made to accompany him nearly all hours of the day.
Up, higher, come on now.
Still, he could at least be less pushy.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
God. Surprising how hands-on he compared to my usual clientele. Well, the both of them are, actually. Refreshing to have them participate despite their initial reluctance.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma. No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
You really need to tone down the dramatic a notch. Mrs. Wright and the butler look like they're used to it by now. The rest of us, well,
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let your Hans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
there's an obvious sense of relief in Mr. Wright dragged out of the room, leaving the movement to do their work in peace. Some grumbling even comes from some of the younger workers. It's a good thing the family butler isn't some blindly loyal tool to his boss, or there will be trouble with Mr. Wright.
He is such a bratwurst. Whiny baby who never got enough hugs from his mutter.
Probably lost in translation, and not that I'm condoning talking about someone else behind their back, but I think you meant to call Mr. Wright a horrible brat.
Well, here's that too. There are a lot of things I can call him, but I mean to say that he is a big weenie. A childish name for a childish person. Like a child, he whines when he doesn't get what he wants, and he breaks the toys that he has.
That gets a laugh from me, as well as a few of the movers who linger near. He and I carry boxes instructing the movers where they should be, and generally taking over Mr. Wright's work. It goes opposite of Hitch, and the man is helpful, efficient, and capable with physical labor, despite his clean-cut appearance. A gentleman to boot, taking boxes from me when he sees me struggling with them. Speaking of boxes...
Hey, one of the boxes for the kitchen is missing. Has anyone seen it? The one with the pots and the knives.
The bratwurst had it brought upstairs, thinking it was for the attic.
Why would he... Oh, never mind. I'll go get it.
Oh god, not the attic, please. Why even bring a box of pots and knives to the attic? That man is ridiculous. There's probably no point in making sense of what he does if he does them just because he can. At least it turns out that I don't have to make it all the way up to the attic. The mover, probably on Mr. Bright's orders, left the box on
At
the
least
stairs.
it's not that heavy.
I managed to hoist it up without too much effort. But the time it takes for me to do it, that is long enough for me to overhear an odd conversation I could never in my life imagine coming from a couple like the Wrights.
If you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess. It's not cleaning up after a mutt. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
For once, I'll have to agree with Wiki on this one, though I can live with Mrs. Wright being a dog person. But as amusing as the conversation might be, I really shouldn't be caught eavesdropping or slacking off on the job. I also should be looking at ways of possible soundproofing certain rooms, perhaps bringing it up if they don't realize the lack of it. Move on. No matter how bizarre the conversation might get, I really must go. Not to mention just standing here when I have no more reason to loiter just feels wrong. Besides, the magic we're here in privacy, and I respect that. Keep it in mind, and I won't have a guilty conscience filled to the brim with the secrets of the rich and famous in my hands. I take the stairs 2 steps at a time. If I wasn't in danger of getting stabbed on my baggage, and if nobody else was in the foyer. But as Johannes takes the box from me, I only give him a small smile. There was no reason to gossip but the peculiar conversation of his employers. He probably heard much odder things from them. He doesn't seem to be a cat or a dog person either. As soon as I follow him into the kitchen, he raises a hand to stop me.
Nine. I know you are very skilled in architect, and I have seen your work. But this shall be my kitchen, and I shall fix it according to my wishes. Yeah?
Kind of weird. Anyone would think that pots and knives are supposed to go anywhere but the kitchen, huh?
I assume he's gotten them confused. It wouldn't be the first time.
Confused? How does that even work? I understand covers, carpets, or even curtains getting mixed up. Hey, I'd even understand pots being mixed up with silver decor. But knives?
Oh, he has a collection of ornamental ones from his
Is that not freaking?
father. It takes them everywhere he goes, wherever he moves.
I guess that makes sense. A bit. Still odd.
He merely shrugged before going back to work. The movers work efficiently, even when they're left alone, and they do quick work other responsibilities. They hear Foreman come, standing in the doorway, to consult me on this or that, and I have to go help out every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up to standards. They skip lunch entirely, not even realizing when they do so. Nevertheless, all is well as the butler gets to heating out the leftover bubble and squeak from breakfast, and makes a generous batch of fish and chips for them. Most likely simple in comparison to what he served to the Wrights. Well done,
That
nonetheless.
smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It's an idle conversation more than anything. My thoughts, as they are preoccupied.
If there are any left, one can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them, even my husband, and he's American.
I really do hate getting up so close and personal with clients. It's a distraction. It's obvious to me that I've got my priorities all wrong when I can't help but think about what I heard, let alone about the Wrights couple. Little foxy pumpkin. These things have a way of creeping out on a person. Thoughts, ideas, whether they are fact or fiction. They creep out and fester, crawl and ride in a way that twists. I hear giggling, delighted and mocking. They creep out in. The sensation of fingers ghostly briefly up my arm causes me to freeze and
Don't!
hiss. I have expected her to be
Whoa,
there.
no need to scream bloody murder! It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
But just whiskey.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being scared, though I don't believe in the likes of spooks. Being startled is not on the top of my list of things Marianne liked. Luckily for him, I have nothing within reach, or he had gotten on friendly terms with something like a
What was
rolling
with that
pin.
reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johans been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people. Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
Butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotion on his face to begin with since I started working for the Wrights, aside from vague amusement. There must have been something there, though, judging from Mr. Wright's own content look. So, Orisama? The expression on Mr. Wright's face is almost cruel. Hope you're doing well. And neither of them spoke, even as Johannes leaves the room to serve the workers their late
So,
lunch.
now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
That's a
What the
boring
fuck?
way to look at it, but that's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be relief actually if the rumors of this place being haunted and true. That just means I'm not going bonkers. Hearing, let alone seeing a dead person is exactly the symptoms of a healthy mind. Sure, it means there would be such things such as ghosts and goblins, but at least I'd be sane. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead girl walking around.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
A simple enough question on the surface, yet I know the man's different and ask the question leaves my move. I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watching his reaction intently. But in his eyes, I see something
It
dangerous.
depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
Well, maybe that, but no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really. Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it. But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
I did teenager would technically qualify as strange. But yeah, the whole I see dead people thing isn't going to go over
None that
well.
I know of. But I'll inform Johannes immediately if something comes up.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern you have on the top of security quickly gone. His arrogant, smug smirk returns, if a bit subdued. Whatever smarmy remark he has had already never come, though, as voices from the dining hall ring out.
Is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least not all the time.
That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As always, Mrs. Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion, no matter who she's talking to. This game has movie-like dialogue. Yeah, I love it. I think it's actually really fun. It certainly put people at ease around her. It sounds like it's working on the photographer too. Hearing them, though, seems to put Mr. Wright in a sour mood. At least if his small scale is anything to go by. Is he jealous? Try to like.
You're not gonna go out there and join Mrs. Wright? You're starting to look strained. If you want your picture taken so badly, I'm sure the photographer would oblige.
What is it that you want to do then?
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
We need to get you away from the butler. You're starting to sound like him. No, I'm not joining Hana for an interior design magazine photo. What am I, a piece of furniture? Do the lot of you have anything else crucial to do today? Marianne?
There are still some little things to do. It isn't the end of the day yet.
Yes, but you're paid hourly, aren't you? Per day? Really, I don't care. You and the others can just take off for the day.
Why is he dismissing us early all of a sudden? Is this about the possible security threat? Did my question get him all weary and paranoid that he would just send the workers and I away? I realize that threats are of actual concern to these rich and powerful people. I imagine whether anyone wants to or not, they get a few enemies here and there. I'm sure the foreman and his works can be trusted and are of no threat. Well, at least I trust the people I'm working with. I understand if he doesn't know them from a can of paint. Still, wouldn't it be safer if there are people around who can watch their back?
You're the boss. My being paid by the day aside, I won't be held responsible for any significant delay caused by your decisions. I'll try to get around that, of course, but I'll just remind you of the fact.
Whatever, take forever with the house. I don't give a bloody damn. Don't you worry, you're still getting your money. Just sod off, go crawl around a pub and find yourself a good lay.
Fuck, man. Paranoid, aggravated as he might be, the college certain didn't have to warrant that sort of remark.
Maybe I will.
Walking out of the kitchen, I get to set the fact that whatever he says will go wild under his roof. Mrs. Wright and the photographer are still far too busy in conversation to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I didn't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Going to the foyer had me stumble upon the family butler once more, who raises a brow.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt it. Our ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there are some difficulties at first because the driver didn't know where the Emerald Mansion is. He tried to have us hand over GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other technobabble I didn't care about and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him it's the haunted mansion over at Aslan Village, he knew just the place. And finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver kept complaining about that place giving him the willies. It gave Meek Willie too. I would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurred to me, another blossom in the forefront of my mind. One that has somewhat bothered me greatly, more than my expansion over whiskey and the project or wanting all of it to stop. There have been no Lorraine whispering over my ear today. Worse, I found myself searching for it. Searching for her. Damn you. I don't know what that means. Loose ends. Effing bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already been past this years ago. And it does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I want a stiff drink. And where else do I go to drink? Tuesdays are for karaoke. Wednesdays, improv. Usually these four guys who did hilarious games, the one with Irish drinking songs, are always a crowd favorite. Though I love a good laugh, stand-up comedy is my thing, and without Cam or Hamra or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really, really embarrassed.
Hey! G! Psst! G! Come over here! I need you for something!
It's a good thing that the bartender's a nice fellow. I probably have been kicked out of other places by now, or worse. And push comes to shove, all he would do is give me an easy smile and a shake of his head, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like
Give me a
Mom.
moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
He's some Asian guy. I'm pretty sure I've seen him here before a couple times, although he never talks to anyone else except G. The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Oh? Ash?
All right. What is it?
Oh, hi.
Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine!
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
I want him from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a $4 to succeed in pursuing a bottle from a Silverman. But it doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I know he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
No drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right here and then. But I'm not going to stand up and try to trick back home.
Same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
The top web interests me would have kept my attention if I gave a damn. But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about the things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sound that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way. Perhaps even drowned. It didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy. And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Lou effing Wright. Effing whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing what the guy with the absolute F. Despite this, I find myself getting out and sauntering over to join them before I pipe
Is
up.
this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There is an amusement on G's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as
Don't
hell.
worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Of course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11", can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here. What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. But when he shaked me up, I plopped into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of ya. But you're still standing after all that, are ya? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes. Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you. Even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too, they both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things and all things holy, see how they even work here together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
I giggle bubbles out and I brush my cheek against the cold counter top with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually cracking one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then. Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Here we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I've been right
I'm
now.
asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behave... You what? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This will be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. The feelings have a taste. It'd be better than the beer I'm full of. It gets me thinking, though. Thinking doesn't get me far with too much shit in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something. As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I can get another word out, there's hands on my shoulder and everything starts to spin. Quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me upchucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking Wright, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either. I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
He really pale. Paler than before, at least. I could see the gear turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shoved the card in my hand. Acton Frey. On his name Acton Frey in his number, but he has a second thought, and he grabbed it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy, but I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy, quick on his feet, I already up and Adam as soon as the numbers leave his lips, watching him at the maneuvers through the crowd of other pub goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's gone.
Oi, like what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. When you gotta go. Dude.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite, unless you ask, that is.
Not that I get much sleep to begin with. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like
You
this.
have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
The moments like these make all the hard work worth it.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're all be halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my infatuation at Mr. Wright's antiques and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. Can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. dead girl did. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they buried her body 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad. The living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous societies, way past their honeymoon phase. Oh. I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Shit, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest, though, they are of some help to me, like some weight I've been taken off my shoulders.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it?
I'll try to stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I change
We'll
that.
see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive, because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I had work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. It's at the parlor. People hurry about here, and they're in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spared me a glance as I slipped past them, each working on their appointed roles, and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Lisbon. I make it to the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet. That is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I choose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful, neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find myself imagining grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
Butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tallied by a couple of other people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Much love, man. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness
What are you
beyond.
doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gave me as he said this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true natural warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the Bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
It's inconvenient and turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out.
Please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He goes aside. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me anomalously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. I almost hope, in a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine will just be standing there waiting for me. It would be just like her to joke about inappropriate meeting in dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine? I miss you, you know?
Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time filled me with such despair. Sure, it was grace to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. And if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of a dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together in prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when her laughter filled the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren song, it drops me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is insane, only makes the entire endeavor even more precarious. But I need to find a way to open it. Already I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, but I doubt that would have changed anytime soon. But if there's a door, there is always a way to open it, hopefully without the need to break it down.
Shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
Such a silly thing to say out loud, though there is no amusement on my face, and I do check, glancing at the mirror from the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
I mean, how long have I been down here searching for the switch of a hidden door? In order to go find a dead girl, no less. Isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. Surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me, and that I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I have more time, although I know it's... I really shouldn't let these kinds of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point in me going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in my search, but there, a section of the wall about the size of my palm, and just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch or a button rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. When a click echoes in the cellar and the hidden floor creaks open, I stop. What should I do? I kind of want to go in, but... No time like a present, eh? I have to hurry in. I turn around when there's a crash. In my haze, I bump into the mirror, making it fall to the ground and shatter into 100 pieces. And shit, I hope there isn't any original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I can probably find an invitation to place it in. The door slams shut behind me, and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. I explore the deepest corners of the mansion. When I see a much more visible lever on this side, I calm down and shake my head. On the other side is a passage, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. Cell closed off by heavy iron bars lining the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stink. The foul smell of humans and corpses alike being left to rot. The breeze more likely come from the other end of the passage. The go through is to thank for that. If the place had been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is.
Dear
now.
Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, though the architecture of the time was magnificent. Human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And the Emerald Mansion had a place like this hidden away. Who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There was no time to dwell on it further though. Not when a ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me. Strange sensation creating over my limbs with her presence looms over me. Then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle out until I'm thrown to the side like some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me!
My body hurts and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. And I see her smile, the same one that might have. I know that this isn't Lorraine. And I am a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine's dead. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with the same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell, towards me. I barely scrambled to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it just stands there staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then where?
Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Juarez kid would panic.
Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
It turns out the killer camera comes flickering to life in a video I have played back on the screen. It was hard to consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. When the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers mocking shouts of help me fill the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students judging brothers, sync-rated uniforms they were holding.
That letter!
That thing the woman shoot. Dude. Rebecca. What the fuck? Don't tell me I got her killed. I really hope not. That's how it begins, or so they say, with a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughter and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss on at the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we're off to some great adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
This is far from one, isn't it? A reversing tale, that is. The mild breeze, the faint murmur, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fairy hue. They are all as real as they can get. Much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancy, that's what these are. Merely passing through to occupy an idle mind while waiting for another busy day to end. But again, maybe in another life I am one, who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Basically, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. I was so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea. I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? And if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle, the paper's ungrading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as usual, I prefer. Though, in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either. And we were fussing over minor cold last week tells anything. I might as well stroll my ideal solitude out the near balcony so long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle gets from me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother hen, she called me and then says and does the same thing right after. Not that I'm used to being on the receiving end of other people's worries or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute and then act like a responsible adult next. But there is a distinction there between interactions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face isn't all that big numpty. She thinks I won't notice she's got another thing coming to her. That's how she has always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass another burden onto her.
Or become one myself.
Somehow that though makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, the nub hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds once I do accept the call is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper. Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
The frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone is quite sounding remarkable, friendly, and light, which doesn't sit quite well with me. The wicked pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension, but it's only descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time replaying everything. The details she provided are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get a guess of what happened. This isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with words panic attack and pale, looking a bit sickly, woven together in one foreboding sentence. As quickly as it surfaces, I stomped down on the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I find it soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor flatters all through. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabel has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she gets said a bunch of excuses so she won't get home and sit home? High. Very high. Oh, she's gonna hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
What's up, Buffaloes?
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
Ping held a conversation echoes from her, and the sound of the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient locality in the burned outskirts. He wants to live in a place almost an hour drive away from the comforts of a city. From what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. She didn't answer why she was so adamant refusing my offer of help before. I think I do now, to some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? It shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I let a brief minute of passing to ease whatever tension has lacked itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are steady against the papers. I pretend to arrange after. Loose with thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other girls with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the revolting tale I've hoped to dip into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters from the nearby room, melodies from the rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day I'll stop back in the music and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march through the house exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, that single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. Something nearly barrel overstood in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. I look down, I see the life, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vase, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. Blood has Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink. She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems some remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one.
Just remember not to do it again, alright? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today, if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth, as if to keep a precious secret from
I
falling.
made a promise. She said it for Tio Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. Teacher and me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both our kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, there's nothing but well behaved. both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in another class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast my any suspicion of bad behavior on
As
them.
long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not! Cross my heart! My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after the words are out. And my part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look. But as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be right now. And frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most real smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question, just like that. I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako. My friend, she said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too. Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore. Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabel has always been the kid to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one little thing is enough time to know a person. When you consider it, come to think of it, all the years I never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter or even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is
She doesn't
falling
look
down,
back or wait for any sort of goodbye from me.
falling down.
It's a song and
London
that
Bridge
girl
is
springing her
falling
steps.
down,
She
my
bounds across the
fair
corridor
lady.
with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has taken any downhill turn for her at all, and if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappeared behind the door, leaving behind dreams from an odd, old familiar rhythm lingering in the air, carefree, unbidden. On troubled moments like this, I envy her, and as I resume my hurried pace, I try to whisper at the back of my mind, wishing the same can be said of myself and my own worries. LeBron may be a small city, but is no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting into the city today proved more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief considering how none of my calls to Isabella had made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Both does nothing to ease the exquisite in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike LeBron, the estate in nearby Ashland Village stand as its complete opposite, living and breathing the songs of the old whispers of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary convenience aside, it's a place I'm glad modern conversation hasn't wholly
It's
touched.
just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these freaking types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out, though some still linger and merely get to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathering at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
There's none of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I could certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. She doesn't answer. I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. Guess hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the county has never been popular with the tech survey after all. To my relief, if it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. To the forefront right as it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my taste. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noise louder than they were ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distance, part of the mansion. Floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, these old stories seem to at once have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far into that ugly line of though, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Help me.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence, but above the noise cutting through the mute air, remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer, my hand falls to my side as I cast a weary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I cannot be the only one here hearing this. There must still be some staff hanging around, checking things out, but no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic in anguish.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there?
What's up, J Love? Hope all is well. Have a good dream. Thank you.
Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
Going in gives an ample over where her cry comes from, each step slow and cautious, towards a door on the other end of the room. Well, I'm far from someone who readily gives in to fear or stories lacking factor basis. The vague, restless feeling I had earlier immediately returns to me. Despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only leads itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement would disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then with a caution, I reach for the knob. My finger barely grazes the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
Poor Rolls, man.
No, it's a...
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door, as if any second now the cries will start again, or whoever's inside will burst into the room. But I don't get to do well on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if my concerned look comes from a total stranger. Finally, being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I waved the mobile in front of her, let the gesture alone, explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pockets before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her worried expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the lather right now.
Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. Girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie, may I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Cupid's head immediately snaps up at the voice, and a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. A smile, still friendly, even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends. What's up, Jafar?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
I'm good, how are you? It's an impression thing, to say the least. That level of professionalism. Surprised working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without battling an eye. Certainly didn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabel, though. Oh, good cheers. I'm glad to hear.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
All right, this won't be long, I promise.
Here in BG says, "What's up, Tony?" She throws me an apology look before sauntering over to the small group gathered at the entrance. A couple were siblings, and their woman secured properly their secretary. Either way, they looked no different from the other guests. All good and primarily dressed, but in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. The gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their Ingrid lifestyle. Oh, good, how are you? I'm good, thank you for asking. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while I was attempting my best not to listen in on their conversation. Although that one proves more difficult was how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoed through the walls with only the 5 of us here. Pretty soon I found myself being drawn into their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
Mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment, a fleeting shift on my
Monday
eye.
for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this,
On the instant, I turn my gaze on him. I see
Oh,
it.
I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we? In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame, a dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Darling, your liver. You already had a glass today, and apparently a few days ago as well. How many times do we have to remind you? Doctor's orders, remember?
Alright.
Such a shame. You never let me do anything fun.
As I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps to every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices and what little sound there is. All except for the whispers and laughters. Judging, mocking, taunting. Muffled, inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. The rat around my neck and limbs binds, tightening with every syllable, every utterance, and with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, and painfully into a bottomless abyss. On, and on, and on, till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes. Till suddenly it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice ripped through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. When I look to them again, it's gone.
Just a second, darling. Send my regards to Isabel, please. Poor girl. Please let her know she doesn't have to worry and tell her to get some rest. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. Only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes. The usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seem to have noticed it. Even as I am forced my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and waiting for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently, she closes the great doors behind her. There's a smile on her lips and a skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. Even she appeared to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we're going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
There must be it. The weather, the stupid cold, and the friendly warnings are too stubborn to listen to. Much as I hate to admit it, Isabel's right. I was and still am a little feverish when she visited me at school this morning. Medicine helped, of course, but only some. Although it's not like I can't function, I did get better after lunch, and was able to go through the schedule like the usual. Now I'm not so sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I certainly must have listened too many times to Isabel last week. My favorite model of mine has started to confuse things. If it doesn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to her now. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well.
Lead the way. Small naughty gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is a useless endeavor in itself. Isabel's no longer there, left shortly before I arrived, or at least that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I can take a few guesses. There are only a number of places in LeBron she frequents, and while she's never been the complex kind, it doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice today.
And right after she was told to stay put! I mean, who does that? Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
In the end, Miss Cooper could give me word string of apologies for my trouble, and a request to let her know when I found Isabel. The whole affair didn't even last long. I probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back to downtown with Ron, word sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the expected turn of events or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it for now. Not when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. The small avenue where it's located has been closed off early from any passing traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who sure to crowd the venue. I had to park almost a street away and walk the remaining distance because of it. Looking for them had taken a while in the crowd this big, but I eventually spotted them near the entrance, thanks to Zachary mostly, and looked on surmise. Isabella's whistling.
I knew it.
With no time, I marched over their little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I can stop myself.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness! Becca, you're just in time.
And I flashed across to her face as I hold it with both hands, but I ignore it in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze at me.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she appear to be in pain. Apart from her confused front at my questions, she looked pretty much like how she would in any other day. Even so, you can't really tell those things with her at first glance. The first time she got sick, she never bothered recalling anyone, even me, who lives right next door. If I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died on her bed with the rest of us none the wiser. It's one thing we laugh about now, but moments like those also teach you sometimes about a person. If anything, it has given me more reason to constantly worry about her. And the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely
Rose
baseless.
called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, and gentle as she can, Isabel pushes my hands away. Yet, even before she says anything, I already have a hunch how this whole thing will play
Oh,
out.
no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I imagined. She dodges my hand when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the said injury myself, even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolves into a shameless game of tag. Shouting and chasing, like none of us can be bothered to act like the full-grown nuts we're all supposed to be, including Ashton. I won't put it past Isabella, but Ash, everyone? In fact, if that stupid broken face tells me anything, he finds this whole mess amusing. Oh, for love.
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment I pause. My hand deals mid-air as my attention shifts to Ashton and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. He doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what I said. But the meaning in each syllable alone is clear, and they echo. They sting. They burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Of course. Of course. Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put and still a little chat about money this morning? Something close to silence falls when I mull over their words, both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. When I do find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts. Thoughts I quickly stamp out before they surface. Thoughts I hide the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind, locking it away for no one to see.
That's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Yes, try as I might, the green-eyed monster easily rears his ugly head. Like it always does every time his gaze lingers a second longer. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle, far too sincere, whenever he thinks no one can see. Every time my mind guesses his words mean more than they should. Every small little thing, despite what he said, despite his
Look,
tongue.
you guys.
For I know I might get to the same kid of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking like he often tells me. Maybe there really is something there. In his short display of impatience, I know the whole thing of it is just for show. After all, growing up together with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake it is this time, though. For him. For Zachary. For her. Or for me. That I can't tell.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
My opens and snaps shut animals as quickly, forming a thin hairline did. I can't respond, not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty, so many things I can use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with much certainty, with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't even a choice. All I can give is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it. Before I can get a grip myself in my own weakness, the mood immediately shifts and I'm being tackled into
Thanks,
a hug.
Becca! It's always been you with him, isn't it? Did you say something? Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
A lie, obviously. What else can it be? Each and every smile, a tiny effort to keep things as they are, or so I tell myself. Little do I know this is merely a preamble. There is a quietly and without fanfare amidst friendly jibes and harmless teasing, with a screen of paper fluttering harmlessly to the ground. One that looks suspiciously like a cheap Halloween prank, no matter how you look at it. And yet, despite how curious it all is, Isabel stubbornly insists, as if our whole life depends on acknowledging the truth in her story. Has she realized how absurd she sounds now? Crippins, even my students won't fall for this.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me time to regret nor think over my choice of words. From there it escalates, growing into an argument too petty even for our standards as adults. Before we know it, one after another harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me.
If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
But someone has to be patient in all this. And however much my own has already been phrased earlier, there's no one else. Who else here can deal with someone selfishly acting like a child? Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Just like that, she cuts us off. Slams the door right under our faces while my own temper flared before I can stop it. Although it flatters briefly at the hard expression of her, when she snatches that blasted paper from Ashton, I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, soured expression and balled fists, showing a change is simply unacceptable. For a global minute that. Words form at the tip of my tongue ready, with fork out my mouth and let all of it out. Her feelings and mistakes be damned, Decker raises the voice of his
Guys!
A woman underneath the warm and the hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop and look to him, and even my own anger subsides a little.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
To an outsider, it may sound like a desperate request, but Zachary has always been the one to keep a level head over petty squibbles. This time's no different. He knows what to say and what he lets it fall. When he lets it fall, the only ring sharp.
We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And careful as he is with his own tone, it does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be here for him, to give what little support we can give, yet here he is trying to keep 3 stubborn people from outright harshing it out in public. Later, we can and will talk about it, of course. There's a proper time and place for it, and at the moment my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matter. Beside me, Ashton appeared to have already caught on. The lines of his shoulders eased to something much more relaxed, his expression back to his usual nonchalance. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands clasping the straps on her back like a lifeline, eyes trained at some point near her shoes. There's no anger in her face, only an undeniable hurt, but she's never been good at hiding what she thinks. Always the open book, always the one to wear her heart out in the open. And when she looks up, her answer is almost as simple.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Her lips are curled up in a smile, though lacking both his usual brightness and glee, is a smile nonetheless. I see it countless of times. It's the very same one she would show when she knows has no other choice or simply when things get tough for her. But despite everything I already know about her, it still catches me off guard. In all honesty, I expect her to run to balk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't even be surprised. At 26, she's the youngest among the rest of us, less experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. Yet here she is holding herself and coping with it, like how she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she has always been the childish, naive girl, and watching the opposite play out right now. Somehow I find it difficult to wrap my head around.
Alright, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
But I envy her.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Oh, don't cry.
Stop it!
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer, the shine in her eyes when she looks at the world. How everything seemed to simply fall back to a pleasant, lively rhythm with her around. How easily and tightly she fits into our lives, even with her bonds only long years could forge, like a lost piece of a puzzle despite her jagged edges. How she draws people to her with ease. How active all people can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too. If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
Thank you for keeping the bitterness from my tone. I let it seep, linger stiffly in the air as I avert my gaze from them. From their playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and active, tender, affectionate smiles, all before the stabbing aches in my heart changed into something too painful to bear. It's all in my head, is what I often tell myself. Yet the way my heart rends at just the sight of them hurts. And like a coward, I walk away from all of it, taking with me a small hope the movie will distract me away from these thoughts. Just like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Dust has already given way tonight when we leave the film fest. Fortunately, it does nothing to improve my mind like I am hoping. Neither does the muggy air that greets us upon stepping back into the noisy streets. Too busy. Too loud. Too many people taking what little space the sidewalk offers anyone to bump shoulders with those they barely know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd nor the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. And yet, even when was admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah, see ya.
Not even to return the smiles Acton Zachary gives us when we go our separate ways. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper's call on or earlier than that. Maybe even the moment I left bed this morning. Bloody hell, it could have been because of the sobbing letter, for all I know. Sobbing letter. Couldn't care less at this point. All I want is to get a warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now, if only Isabella would stop babbling, then maybe this dull dropping at the end of my head won't turn into a full-blown headache too.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this, and everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear. Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it. Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
I know that, but maybe there's something you want to say? Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it, even if it was only for a short time. So, maybe you want to...
I don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately make a quick beeline for it. Knowing Curtis is merely near intent at during conversation, guess so we'll have something to fill the dead air to replace the strained atmosphere we've somehow walked into. One thing, the very thing, I'm not too keen to deal with at present. Behind me, Isabella also changes her pace to match mine. Her soft draw is growing brisk and uneven in order to catch up. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there are definitely times when she can be at least coordinated person on the planet. Was that Killabelle?
Becca, hey! Oh no. Wait for me!
And people wonder why I worry? They're not really completely unfounded once you're already grown familiar with her habits. Though right now, this is also at the very end of the list of things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice as she calls after me sounds nothing more than background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home. It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
Taking care of your life too much appreciated, man.
I don't want to hear that from you. Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? But that doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella. If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier. Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school?
Happy New Year, Jafar.
Do you want to talk about it?
Alan pause follows and holds everything she's been meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but all the same, my hand stops short of unlocking my card and my grip on the handle tightens. I can feel her eyes boring on me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answers I give. She's the same as Zachary. They're bad liars. When you talk to people like them, if you're not careful, they often leave you with no other choice but to admit the truth. Those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes on surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter, more attentive than usual.
Was it because of the letter?
It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of this talk. Yet something in how she says it irks
If
me.
it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Wherever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not at this minute, preferably never. Especially when there are already a million other things buzzing and prodding inside my head.
And during the open house, there were a lot of people around. There were weird things happening. I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed, but I heard things. I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic,
Isabella?
Yeah?
I pause, though I don't let it last, only to give myself a small window to breathe, before I lay down the words between us with as much resistance my patience allows, which is not much after everything. I can only hope Isabella will simply take them as they are. She can be stubborn as a mule when she wants to be.
This kind of conversation tonight. Look, it's been a long day. I think this cold also caught up with me, and I'm really exhausted. Can we talk about this some other time?
She blinked, and although disappointment flashes momentarily in her face, she gave me a curt nod. A relief enough for me, perhaps the first time I genuinely feel it today, and unpleasant as this day has been, seeing something go the way I've anticipated takes the edge out of it. Even if lying through my teeth had to go with it.
Oh, alright. You should have just said so. I told you should have taken a full week off. Were you able to get the meds I brought you, though? Do you need anything? I could drop by the pharmacy for you.
Yeah, no need to fuss. A good night's sleep is all I need. I've been busy the whole day.
Hope everyone has a great day. Same to
I
you.
guess I should have listened to you and taken it easy. But we have exams to prepare for. It's one or the other, you know?
I knew it! Here I thought you were just upset about something. Even Ash looked a little bit worried about you.
It's fine. Let's just head home, okay? I'll make it up to you next time. Call me out to lunch or wherever. Just... not right now.
Okay, but should you be driving? If you want, I can call a taxi for us. You'll hate paying the extra fees, but you'll be able to get some rest on the way home.
You too.
No, don't call a cab. I can manage driving at least. Just get in the car so we can be on our way.
I'm already opening the door and climbing into the seat before she can protest. Left with no other choice, she follows inside shortly, but with a bit of reluctance. The guilt from this will eat at me later, but for now, these little falsehoods are mine to bear and hide under. For now, This is the better choice. But then pretending she doesn't exist or giving her vague answers. Certainly better than harsh words and outright lashing out at her. I can't find any little comfort in that. Thankfully, if there's anything left to be spoken between us after, we won't have to discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't. Because no sooner than we hit the road, Isabella dozes off. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing a laughter once the first sound of her breathing filled the car. Thanks, Tony.
Mama? Not your mom, Isabella.
So today, the quiet rhythm so completely unlike her, so far removed from every impression anyone has of her. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come from her, but otherwise it's just us, this silence, and it's so utterly unexpected. Still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is one thing you'll really get with her around. Yet, it's nothing near comforting, it merely lands the air, this strange clarity, every little sound, every single movement more palpable. With it comfy on the ease. Jolt surprise hit me and almost comical if this were a different situation. In my haste, I accidentally dislodged my mobile from the seat on the dashboard when I swipe on the screen. Soon, I'm scrambling blindly for it with my other hand, while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead. I avoid crackles from the loudspeakers before I can put it back. Although muffled heavily by the surface, I recognize the person on the other line from her chipper tone alone.
Hello? Miss Cooper?
Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that.
What's up, Biscuit? How you doing?
I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Yes. She's with me. We're on our way home.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
My hand stopped dead for a moment. I spared her device a brief glance, waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happened, so frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting. But the lines on my mouth forms into a frown regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up. Come again?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't? Okay, you seem to be busy. If this is a good time, I can just call you back some,
I have to make a conscious effort not to panic right then and there, although my tight hole in the steering wheel tells a different story altogether.
Miss Cooper! Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only a burst of static answers me. Maybe this lapse is entirely because of exhaustion. It has been a long day, and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of flu. Contrary to what I've been telling people, though perhaps had I paid closer attention to it, had I not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier. That never came from my phone, but from someone right behind me. Time slowing to a crawl. Looking up is a mistake. The first thing I see is his face, a ghastly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloodied. Even in the darkest in the world passing by in the blur of lights outside, I can still make out in the wounds. Blood still oozes from it, little trails of crimson running down his face, glistening under what little light there is. But it is the gleam in his eyes to catch his mind. The quiet plea, the anguish and desperation in them, more than its hideous features and the awful stench of gore now soaking the air. And try as I might, I can't bring myself to look away, even as his lips contort into a horrific smile. even as a sharp, harsh noise pierces the air and the silence around us.
Rebecca! Car! Eyes on the road!
Against everything I've been taught, and I constantly remind myself, I close my eyes. It's a brief moment, a short, vivid second of muscle memory, an instinct completely taking over. As if I didn't allow it, my hands didn't move, or my feet didn't hit the brakes in that exact second. I might have, Isabella and I might have, no. I shook the notion away before I put myself in it. Right now, it's not the line of thought I refuse to venture into. Not when breathing is a struggle and every inch of strength has been totally drained from my body. Most definitely not while Isabella's panic voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. It is not her face that I look for when I open my eyes. All gone. I picked the stains, little telling marks and creases on the covering to show me where it sat not a second ago. But whatever it is, it left not a single trace. And though courage is a hard thing to gather at that point, I take what little bit remains in me and turn toward the back seat. Even then, there's none. Or was there really something in there in the first place? With how empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, numb from how taut. My grip on the wheel has gone, yet still trembling from the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounding in erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. But the world has already righted itself. Was it waiting for me? And little by little, second after second, as I sit there motionless, color begins to seep back around me. Along with it are the sounds of my voice, no longer the instinct ringing as earlier.
Becca! Are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me! You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional. Voice, heat prickling at the back of my eyes, and the miles dropping at my temple. Could hardly do with a little silence right now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road. Or a mangled mess anywhere. All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Don't have a license.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years. Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Isabella looks away then, while what's left on my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of these words she let loose earlier, it is a small truth. Her stay has always been meant for it to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home, is what she told herself during her first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And if there is something in her reasons that have changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch, it's one thing I'll never bother to ask. Those are hers to
I'll
keep.
be careful this time, I promise. Just please, can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
She nods, and that is the end of it. We spend the rest of the trip back to Salemwell in silence. All thoughts of an overactive imagination playing tricks on a fluid, easel mind, and of smiles never meant from my eyes, abandoned if only for a brief moment. It begins innocently enough. Tuesday morning I rise like any other day before it, bright and clear. Even though it comes with an extra helping of the usual October weather, I appreciate being able to catch a glimpse of the clear skies lately. After going through a bout of sickness last week, it does something to lift the mood of what otherwise be a dreary morning. And despite being mostly a creature of habit, I wound up waking earlier than usual because of it. Still no earlier than Isabel appears. I'm assuming she'll take a day or two off because of what happened to Miss Cooper, but it doesn't seem to be the case. The sound of morning news drifts from her until, when I walk past on the way to my mailbox, chances are around this hour she's already dressed and ready to go, probably just waiting for the next bus to arrive. I tried following her example before, but I don't think I'll be repeating that.
Really? How can anyone be up before the sun is up?
The habit she got from home, she said, instilled in her by the kind of life she grew up in. Like clockwork, is always in at 4 a.m., either to help with the chores or prepare her little siblings for school. Surprised me the first time. She just didn't look like someone who could. In the end, I sneakily passed it off as one of the many things anyone will have to get used to around her. Not that I'll ever fully understand. If I'm my parents' only child, we aren't well off, but so far, I lived a relatively easy life. I'm gonna stop the stream there, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for being here.